7:35.
Trouble with John.
7:37, that clock is.
Sounds good.
Yes.
7:37. If we could have a roll call.
Omori,
Here.
Bailey,
Here.
Brower,
Here?
Rice. Here. Hill.
Here.
McLaren,
Yeah, here.
Wills.
Here. Full house.
The Ortonville DDA mission is dedicated to promoting economic revitalization, supporting local businesses, and preserving the natural and historic heritage of the village of Ortonville by using the 4-point Main Street approach. And, the next item is the consent agenda. And we do not have minutes from December, so we'll take a look at those next month. Just as a heads up.
One comment, I really enjoy rereading our code of ethics, which I think other boards should read and take note of as well, especially with respect to conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Before we get too far, I'm gonna pass around a card for Joe.
Do we have an update on Joe?
I'm not,
Last I read, he was back on it then.
he's got a trach.
Yeah, back off that other trade.
They were, doing some stuff this morning to see if they could remove it. So, that's, hopefully we'll have updates later today.
Thank you.
When you're also like to entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
So will that be as amended then?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Then the December 2019 disbursements. As soon as you're set, it would be, entertain a motion to approve.
I just have a quick question.
Make a motion. I move that we accept the December disbursement report in the amount of $2,426.71.
I'll second.
Sorry. For the Sherman Publications, the historical calendar, what budget line did that come out of?
Multiple, because
Okay.
two of them were for events. The firework and food truck event was one ad, the farmer's market was one ad, and I'm sure the balance
Okay.
is in promotions and things
Okay.
of that nature, advertising and promotion. But I try to break these types of things out into specific categories for what they are.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Any other questions?
What's Candace's reimbursement?
For Christmas in the Village, she
Okay.
purchased some of the items that they sold at their booth. So that was the money to purchase the items. You'll see on your treasurer's report, it indicates the revenue that came in from those purchases.
Do you know that number off the top of your head?
427.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second, so we can have a roll call.
Bailey,
Yes.
Brower,
Yes?
Price,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
McLaren,
Yes.
Wills,
Yes.
Omori.
Yes. Next item is election and appointments. Do you want to?
As I indicated in my email on Friday morning, asked you to consider where you thought your role might be on the board for the next 12 months. Matt is stepping away from the president's position. Courtney has indicated her interest in stepping into that role. We have secretary, as Paul is our secretary, Wayne is our treasurer. I wasn't sure if you two were interested in staying where you are. And the only other item is identifying someone to serve as president-elect.
I'll be staying in the position here, I mean, that's fine.
I will say if the board wants me to. It is the
Yes.
desire and wishes of the board.
No, that job is in high demand.
As long as I have a backup, because I'll be gone in February. That's your ball, right?
Pardon me?
You're the backup for second.
For the signature? Yeah. I'm always across.
So now we just need a president-elect.
Who's interested?
I'm not been organized yet.
But it's,
Actually, I've not been organized in life yet, I'm still.
Doesn't leave too many people.
let me ask another question. So Courtney, the term's gonna be 2 years, correct? Or would there be, not as,
It's annual,
1-year terms.
okay.
but
You can serve 2 consecutive.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of, okay.
The thought, of course, is to have the president-elect prepare to step in
Correct.
that's
the
not.
following
So that you have
year
that year of.
and/or fill in the absence of the president.
It's really between you two.
I think you'd be better at it.
I did it for 3 years.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you did.
We'll help you, we'll help you, we'll help you.
It's really okay.
I would consider it in maybe another year or 2,
Uh,
but it'd be nice to also, I think, have someone else who
Sure.
has different ideas, and there isn't, so speaking from experience, there is some work with it, but it's not, I think actually being downtown would make it much easier. For me, the bigger challenge was trying to find the time to get downtown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, you have to be prepared to run a meeting in my absence, which
We help.
What happened?
it happens.
yeah, 'cause you have
I have
littles,
kids,
you have little
yeah,
ones.
so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
happens if I can't get a
Right,
sitter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it was really hard to anybody else. She's already done it and everyone else is scared to get it.
As you've seen, Kim,
Loves that.
as you've seen already, even this morning, we help you.
Yes, yes, yes,
Run
big
meetings.
time. Yeah, yes, yeah. Well, but you're not going anywhere for a long time, are you? This whole like, okay, but then
Good
you're
Lord.
the
No,
main
it's
person in
not.
charge, so that's why I'm just.
Good Lord willing, the creek don't rise.
Yeah, exactly. You
Well,
better not leave hightail boots. I don't want this place
No.
to be in trouble if I'm in charge.
You'd also have a year
I'd be praying,
of
Lord have
training,
mercy.
right? I mean, that's part of it, is you get a year.
Yeah.
Well, and you
Yeah,
don't,
yeah, yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have to, at the end of the year, you don't have to step into the presidency role.
It's not mandatory, but it's,
And you don't have to
Right.
stay.
Yeah,
Desirable.
Yeah, yeah, so, sure, yep. That sounds great.
but we do have
Just need
golden handcuffs.
information. Yeah. Pardon me?
We do have golden handcuffs.
Yes, okay, perfect, good.
Apple slices, water,
Yes, and hey,
oranges.
I like it. That's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely.
So, as we've indicated and pulled fingers, this is the result. Courtney, president, Paul, secretary, Wayne, treasurer, and Kim, president-elect.
Effective at the end of today's, at the close of
Yeah.
today's meeting.
You're not leaving, are you?
I'm staying on the board. Yeah. Yep. So do we have a motion as such?
So I move that we accept the slate of officers as presented.
I'm typing your motion, give me a minute.
It's a long one. We being the DDA board.
While Liz is typing, do we have support? So that,
Support.
Okay, so the motion I have is to appoint Courtney McLaren president, Wayne Wills treasurer, Paul Amore secretary, and Kim Hill as president-elect, the DDA board effective January 27th, 2020.
Perfect.
awesome. And, your roll call. Go ahead. Okay.
Probably just better.
Are you ready for that?
Yes.
Okay. Brower,
Yes.
Bryce,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
McLaren,
Yes.
Wills,
Yes.
Amore,
Yes.
Bailey.
Yes. All right, thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service last year.
Yes, thank you,
Especially.
Matt.
And we also need to appoint DDA representatives to the Friends of Amos. And it's just the annual thing that, because the way the Friends of Amos is set up is that there are three spots.
President and 2 representatives.
And so it's on our side to decide who those 2 representatives are in addition to the president. So as of right now, or at the end of the meeting, I'm not on the Friends of Amos board unless we appoint me as a representative because Courtney stepped in as the president. So I
The
will
current,
continue to do that.
Are you willing?
Yeah.
Okay.
the current board appointees are Wayne and Courtney and Matt as the president. And so now Courtney is the president.
So, in thinking about this, I thought that keeping Wayne and Matt and myself, obviously myself, in that position at this transitional time for the Friends of Amos, as we've already been working on some things just for continuity's sake, might be a really good idea. We're still working to fill the last 2 seats, and Matt's been working very heavily on the bylaws and things like that. And so keeping, I think, the 3 of us in that position would really be beneficial to the Friends of Amos at this stage in their incorporation and setup. So that's my
Organizational
suggestion. What's that?
Organizational.
Yeah,
life.
organizational life for sure. So that's my thoughts on the matter, but obviously, yeah, it's open for discussion.
Yes, we can either,
Makes sense.
we just need a motion to state those individuals. President's already there, so it would be 2 additional beyond Courtney, and I am willing to continue.
So my motion is, motion to appoint Bailey and Wills to the Friends of Amos board. Is it for 1-year term? For a 1-year term as the DDA representatives.
Do we have a motion to
I'll
that?
make a motion to
Support.
All right, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And Matt has put together a work plan priorities exercise that we received in our email, I believe it was Friday. Matt, you want to?
From our evaluation, one of the primary recommendations was to take a look at our work plan and prioritize items in our work plan. Essentially, the feedback is there's too much in it to complete in 1 year's time. Try and identify your priorities to work on for 2020. So essentially, this exercise is to help us do that. Not terribly scientific. I do have each of the categories on separate sheets up on the board. And as long as everybody's had a chance to go through it and identify their priorities, I'd like to begin to chart those on the board.
You're gonna go right to the organizational step 2, or you're gonna go to step 1?
Step 1.
I'll start. Under step 1, current strategies, third bullet down, my top 3, create synergy between groups and organizations by developing collaboration strategies that engage stockholders, create avenues of partnership, and foster communication. Okay? Number 2 would be the last bullet. The DDA will create long-term sustainability through financial diversification. And then the last bullet would be Friends of Amos, build Friends of Amos.
Okay.
I, sounds silly, but ditto.
All the same?
Yes.
I'll go, I guess, since I'm in the middle here.
Oops, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That shows the bottom 3. So downtown Ortonville brand, financial diversification, and Friends of Amos.
Okay.
Since I was sent this also, I picked the first one, business development program, third from the bottom, the downtown Ortonville brand, and the last one, Friends of Amos.
Okay.
I, Kim, would do the business development program, the Friends of Amos, and I'd like to work on the downtown Ortonville brand.
Okay.
I would do the first one. Create synergy and Friends of Amos.
Okay.
Collaboration, brand, and Amos.
Well, Friends of Amos is popular.
We're supposed to be giving
Everybody
that up.
loves Amos.
It's a friendly place.
Is that every, oh, okay.
The collaboration, financial diversification, and I'm gonna go with business development, because I was stuck on that in Amos, and it's already Amos, so I'm gonna.
Okay.
Three-way tie.
Nobody cares about governance.
And
We're solid in
We
that
did
as
spend a lot of
well.
time on governance.
I did business development, placemaking,
Yeah.
and organizational.
Take it that.
Can I change my Amos to placemaking?
Nope. Well, we can, but once we get through it.
Nope.
That was very decisive. That's a maybe, Courtney, it's always a maybe.
It's always a maybe. That never means no.
Okay?
Are we supposed to evaluate that at this point, or do you want to go through all 5 of them first?
Yeah, let's go through them
Okay.
all. So, organization.
Step 2,
Yep.
organization. I went with bullet 3, bullet 4, and bullet 6.
Okay. Who's next?
Bullet 1, 4 and 5. And I almost did board and volunteer recruitment, but I think with the communication plan, that'll spur some excitement.
Okay, I'm just torn, so I have I have the fund development plan, the communication plan, and then I'm torn between updating the first bullet or the red barn. But I kind of feel like I'm putting the red barn too far, like the cart in front of the horse, so I don't know.
Now, remember, it doesn't mean that the things you don't choose are not important.
Okay, because that's what I'm struggling with.
Say yes to the best.
And essentially, what is our time and effort best served in 2020 to focus on? What do we have to focus on? What do we really have to move the marble on?
I guess I'll say board and volunteer recruitment then.
Let me ask this just super quickly. The strategic plan and work plan is that our individual work plans for the things that we do, or is that the board as a whole?
Organization.
Well, one of the things that they asked me in my session, is to draw a line between the projects we did in 2019 and the strategies we've identified in our formal work plan. They do
Okay.
that with you?
No.
Yeah,
Not specifically.
They want us to be able to point,
So
where
we
is
hinted
this in here?
Right.
And I'm doing a little foreshadowing here. I don't want you to I want your responses to be raw. And then once we get all this filled in, we're gonna say, okay, draw a line to which strategy that objective satisfies. or
So
works
not
towards.
individual work plans, with the work plan of the organization as a whole?
Yep.
Okay.
So did we get 3 from you, Allison?
You did.
Okay, who's next?
And Red Barn, communication plan, and the board and volunteer recruitment.
I would say the same thing, the Red Barn, the communication, and the volunteer recruitment, for sure.
Same. Samesies.
Okay.
And I'm doing the DDA fund development, Red Barn, and volunteer recruitment.
I'm gonna go 2, 3, 4. And I'm not making excuses, but I just want to preface to say for me, I know I said it in 1 and 2. The only reason why I keep saying the joint meetings, and I don't want to think that it's because that's where I'm coming from, but I think without that, we move forward much faster when we have that collaboration. So that's why I keep saying that in each one, not because I'm
And I agree with you,
But I
think
just,
we
I
would
don't want,
still.
yeah. But like I said, I don't want people, it's because I'm
Right.
on that,
Well,
it's
it's like I
because I
didn't say
really
the
feel.
red barn, because I feel like I rolled that into this one.
But I'm like, here, same answer again. But without
Sure.
that, we don't move.
I think that's everybody.
Yeah.
Is that everybody?
That's everyone.
Matt,
Okay.
did you just go?
I chose the bottom 3.
Oh, I just. Look, you're scared.
Do you have like a light pencil line drawn underneath of all of those?
Strategic plan, Red Barn, communication plan.
It's really straight.
What was that?
They're very straight.
His lines are really straight. Liz asked if he had a pencil line drawn under that he could follow.
Invisible ink.
Economic restructuring.
1, 2,
Oh, this was hard.
and 6. The first 2 and the last.
Oh, you get 3.
I have 3.
You said the last one.
1.
Oh, I thought he said the first 2 and the last 2. You cheater.
That's only 2, first 2 and last 2.
Yeah.
I did the farmer's market,
Mm-hmm.
shop Ortonville, and business development.
Okay.
1, 2, and the last.
Have you been waiting and hanging out together?
No, why?
You answered the.
Oh, I didn't pay
1,
attention
2,
to what.
and then shop Ortonville.
The better women than learning psychology.
Ooh, this is a hard one.
I
Yeah.
I can read body
Look
language.
at 1, 2, and 4 business development resources. 6. Force, yeah.
Okay.
Rick, did you do it? I was focused on the chocolate, actually. I picked, 1, 3, 5.
I picked 1, 4, and 5.
I almost picked 4.
Yeah, this is a hard one.
Yeah,
They're all
all
super
of
hard,
them.
but-
All of them.
That's okay though.
3, 4, and 6.
Is that it?
Everybody.
And I chose 1, 2, and 6. Okay.
A little more clearly defined.
It almost looks like we're trying to spell out a word with the little
Mhm.
stickers.
Yeah, it
E,
More schools.
ELC.
E, B, C?
okay, how about promotions?
Here's
Those
Yeah,
French
matrix
things.
Mm-hmm.
1, 3, and 4.
I had a question.
Oh, wait a minute, what did I just do? I'm sorry.
It's promotions
What
or
have I
friends.
done?
1, 3, and 5.
It's just for clarification. This is our promotion of Friends of Amos, not necessarily the priorities of Friends of Amos.
It's the promotions committee and our interaction or collaboration with Friends of Amos.
Thank you.
Mine is exactly as Wayne's. The partner sponsorship, Ortonville brand merchandising, and the downtown community events.
Oh, okay. You already went?
No, but I think I need to go first now because. Yes, copy that. So,
Same.
Rick?
1, 3, and 5.
Oh, wow. We're all pretty aligned so far.
thanks, Rick. I don't feel so bad now.
Same?
You just keep cheating.
No, it's my first one too.
Same?
Holy cow. All right, Paul, don't let us down.
This makes up for number one, I think, consistencies.
Same?
I'm kidding though.
Sorry,
Just small mention.
I am the
That's
rebel.
really unanimous,
No, it's
isn't it?
okay.
No, and the only reason why I'm not picking 3 is because I feel we do that. So 1, 2, and 5, because
Thank
2
you.
brings people in here that are not here.
Yeah.
And 3 is what we already do. That's the only
Sure.
reason.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
No, there's
Number
no.
3 is not
And
straight
that
now.
bottom line is not straight.
Oh, wow.
You better work
Yeah.
on
Is
that.
that it?
That's it.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
And I chose.
I'll let you go first.
Thank you.
Partners, mobile app, and merchandising. Okay. No editorial
No editorial.
Interesting.
Lame.
yet. Okay, design.
I'm gonna go first. 2, 5, and 6.
Okay. Walking tour, wayfinding, and streetscape.
Okay,
3, 4, 5.
3.
Okay.
3, 4, 5? Okay.
3, 4, and 6.
Tanya?
1 and 4. Yes. I don't know. I'm gonna go with 5.
1, 3, and 4.
I did cheat reverse. I knew Wayne would do wayfinding, and so did a little reverse.
Psychology.
Yeah. Nice.
Walking tour, wayfinding, and public art.
Okay.
It is, I know.
It's kind of weird because like streetscape initiative kind of encompass the public art and the garden
I was just
and
thinking,
the,
public art is a smaller bite, right? A streetscape
Wow.
potentially could be bigger, but I don't know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so on
But
the
yet they all
fence with
connect,
some of
but yet
these.
they
They
all,
all
right,
connect,
which would
yeah.
be first? And hard.
I chose the walking tour, the wayfinding, and the public art. Okay. So, let's just, and again, it's not, doesn't mean that the other things are not important.
Right.
You know, our strategic plan and our work plan is very important.
Right.
But something tells me the prevailing thought is we have one, it's
Right.
functional at the moment,
Yes.
so let's leave that for another year. So these three essentially are the highest vote getters. Red Barn, what strategy would we point to as
should have made these on like,
the Red Barn benefiting? Well, you've got it on right in front of you.
I know, but
Got
it's
it all
easy to
there.
read up there.
Or we could do it another way. We could say,
I can answer
okay.
that question though.
You can, okay.
Yes. So I think it is the downtown Ortonville brand, that strategy, right? Because the first group are strategies.
Yes.
Okay. So the Ortonville brand, placemaking, financial diversification, and maybe collaboration in that it does, we'd be working with Planning Commission and Village Council to have access and entry point to the village reserve.
Anything to add?
I think if I had to pick just one, it would definitely be a placemaking initiative. Just having to pick just one. But that being said, it is certainly multifaceted.
Okay. And what about the communication plan? What strategy or strategies does that help us reach?
collaboration.
Brand.
Brand for sure, yeah. Really, hopefully, it's business development, placemaking, potentially, I mean, as far as communicating, right, what we're doing and what's happening, the improvements. Collaboration, because we are, again, cheerleading and announcing these things that we're working on with others.
And business development.
Business development, yeah, that was, I thought maybe I didn't say that one first.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay, I might not have. But,
I also think it creates communication. If that's the goal, is to have that development, you will then have communication through multiple entities who are utilizing that project. I mean, that's kind of, after the fact or during the fact, not leading up to, but that, successful project then creates continued communication.
And branding, very heavily in branding.
yeah, that's my first, is the branding.
How about board and volunteer recruitment?
Yes.
It's not a yes, it's not a strategy, Allison.
No, we need that.
So what strategy does that contribute to?
All of them.
Well, I think
What strategy more than,
it certainly is governance. It certainly is governance.
Right, absolutely.
And collaboration, I would say those two, for sure.
so let me ask this is the first one, and yes, having more board members and volunteers allows us to do a lot more on our strategy side. But the one that's most obvious, would you agree, is governance, organizational
Yep.
governance. And yet that is the least chosen item. So we have a little bit of a disparity.
Disparity.
Thank you. That. But like I said, remember, it doesn't mean that it's not important. Doesn't mean that this isn't important. But we're trying to focus as much of our energies on the things that we say we need to accomplish in 2020. But it doesn't mean we're wrong on this. I'm just saying it's something to make note of as we continue through this. Okay, how about farmers market? What strategies is that?
Okay, I'll jump in. Placemaking, branding, potentially financial diversification if it were to become big enough. It could even maybe bleed into the business development if you have more traffic, foot traffic down here. I mean, ideally, that would be a long-term or medium-term goal.
I just want to go back. The Red Barn placemaking, it seems a natural link, and yet that only had one vote. Farmers market certainly is placemaking. I will say on farmers market, one thing that jumps out to me is it's going to be important moving forward is the collaboration, being able to recruit and retain local groups that can participate in the market, volunteer at the market. Okay, retail challenge. I think that's easy, right? Business development. Is there another strategy that the retail challenge relates to?
It says collaboration again.
Placemaking would also apply too. The businesses come into town here and start.
And Shop Ortonville was just one behind Retail Challenge, so how about business development resources? Speaks directly to the business development program, but what other strategies?
The brand, collaboration.
Placement. Oh, do we have that already? Would it be placemaking? Because
No, I
you're
mean-
creating
I don't know, I find
or is
placemaking to be.
more tangible?
Yeah, more, I mean, if you read it, in partnership with the village, the DDA will help reimagine and reinvent public and green spaces
Yeah.
in downtown Ortonville. So some of these,
Those are private, not public.
it's not so much about the businesses and filling those buildings, it's more about
Culture.
creating public space. Yeah,
Okay.
at least that's how I view it.
Promotions and Friends of Amos. Partners program, the sponsorship program. Obviously, financial diversification, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
What
business
else?
development.
Branding.
Mhm.
Okay. And the merchandising.
Branding, collaboration, business development would be tied to.
To the merchandising?
Yeah, because, and I say that because I think that through collaboration with the businesses, you know, it's them promoting us, promoting them, kind of a thing.
Shared revenues,
Yeah, could be, I mean,
So
it's kind of endless really, but
financial
Opportunities.
diversification.
yeah.
And how about these events?
Individually?
Or as a whole.
As a whole,
Clearly, we all think they're important.
yes, so why? Why is our energy,
I wish it was.
Collaboration and placemaking.
Placemaking, sure.
I think it almost falls under everything in a sense. It's like, yeah, it's like Kim just said, visibility, but it's also, it's promoting the downtown, it's getting people down here who, I mean, Paul and Kim specifically have said it over and over and over again. They get people in their shops and Jesse and Lisa say it, and we didn't know downtown was down here. And when you're having,
I know, it's
you know,
crazy.
when you're having these events, it's all enconcome, really. I think we
So-
all picked it because
Well,
it's
so let me ask this,
Fall
we're
over
talking,
everything.
we're talking about our time and energy for 2020, and this ranks so high.
Yeah.
What does that translate to in this board's time and energy?
So,
Does anybody know?
Well, most of those are
Yet.
put into the Friends of Amos, as far as operating. Okay, but when you're looking at everything else, you're looking at the Heritage Garden, you're looking at streetscape, everything. If you could do all those, you could do the mural project and different things, but if you don't have people coming downtown to see it, right, they don't know it's there. So all those events, bring the people down here for everything that we're accomplishing in Friends of Amos, do those activities.
yeah, I saw that as something that we shine a spotlight on, something Friends of Amos is putting organizational efforts into. Because the spotlight would be important, but we absolutely should not expend all our resources on those events.
So our time and effort is supporting Friends of Amos in various ways, so
Absolutely.
that they facilitate these?
I think it supports the entire community. I mean, like you say, the businesses, you're supporting the businesses that you're helping to develop and strengthen and support and educate. So you're pulling the people down to access them. You're specifically working around it, you know, your hours are planned for that, you know, data, you're preparing the businesses for that. So, I mean, that's a big interaction. It's not like you're just saying, we're holding an event and I hope you guys are available. You know what I'm saying? It is a partnership planned event.
Collaboration.
Not just a, we're holding an event, are you gonna be there?
Well, let me
So I see
say,
that different.
the only one that doesn't occur downtown is the fireworks.
Right,
But
for logistical
that's,
reasons.
yeah, logistical
But
reasons, but
we
that's something
specifically
we
tried to
cover,
pull the
right.
businesses, would you like to come down and be a part?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
you know, all I'm saying is it's not just an event, it is a specifically planned and coordinated event
Right.
to improve not just the DDA space or raise money for, you know, Amos.
Well-
I see it as
Well-
another big collaboration.
let me
Yeah.
maybe, as I'm thinking about this, we're saying it's an important thing to do we're having a hard time saying it's not our important thing to do.
Correct.
It's an important thing to do, but, so,
I'm not having a hard time saying that at all, and I don't think, I
But I
believe Paul
just didn't-
just said, it's
I'm there.
Friends
But
of
enough,
Amos.
but it was important enough, I think, for all of us, because I think the issue is we recognize how important these events are to the community.
right.
And that my fear is that if we don't continue to help drive those, that they'll fall. They'll just collapse. But do I feel that it's our responsibility to organize, coordinate all of, no, I don't. So, and I wavered on that one a lot, because I don't want to fall into the habit of us just doing events. That's what we did before, and we could not do anything else because we did all events all the time.
Well, it's kind of like, we all say putting out fires has to be done. That's nowhere on my daily priority list, because that's not my job. So I think this is what we're having to say, is that this is something that obviously has to be done. There are countless things that have to be done. We're just saying, what is it that we need to absolutely do that can only be done by us?
Right.
I think you said it though, and we should look at it more of a supporting the Friends of Amos in these endeavors. I think that this year is going to be a little difficult because it is a transitional year. And so, but I think that maybe next year, the Friends of Amos will probably have a better hold on things and be better prepared to fully 100% take them on. They're definitely gonna need our support this year though, because they are, 2 months, technically 2 months old. And yeah, the garden show, the fireworks, Witches Night Out, Christmas in the Village, those are all going to be on their plate for sure. Just correct me if I'm wrong, we said the food trucks will stay DDA, and small business, I would imagine, will stay DDA. But the rest will go over to Friends of Amos, and once they're a little more comfortable, that won't be an issue for them. But this year, for sure, I think we need to be focused on supporting them and making sure that they don't
Crash and burn.
So
Yeah.
here's one other item. So I'm saying, what time and effort are we putting into this? Because we see this as very important. The other thing this board hasn't done is decided on my role with Friends of Amos. So you've said that this is critically important. Now, is this going to fall on my desk to facilitate this support and effort with Friends of Amos? Because if it is, there's a whole lot of other stuff that's not going to get time
Right.
and energy.
So let me ask a question. As coordinators of these various events, wouldn't that be their primary responsibility?
But the way it has been,
Agreed, agreed.
so if, just like Courtney said, the transition that we're in, and that's why you're looking at this and wrestling with, what does that mean for us? Because we are trying to change the process, the culture of how they get implemented, how they get facilitated, and all the photocopying gets done here.
The questions get answered.
All the
They take
questions get
90% of
answered.
your
Right.
day.
Right. And we don't have to figure it all out. That's a critical piece. What is our time and effort moving forward on this?
Okay, so to me, there's a differentiation, there should be a differentiation between the board's actions and focus and the individual people that are even on this board. If Courtney wants to continue doing a particular function that she's done in the past as an individual member, she could certainly do so. But the point person, publicly speaking, the point person would not be this board, it would be Courtney. And the point person I mean, as far as the actual, in the trenches. But the DDA board would be overseeing that.
Or Friends of Amos.
Ideally-
I'm sorry, the Friends of Amos board.
Ideally, Friends of Amos,
The Friends of
yeah.
Amos board would be the go-to person.
Mhm.
I mean, so, you know, it's not like we're gonna dump everything onto the or onto the FOA. I mean, because, yeah, if it's a transitional or not a transitional, somebody, you know, around this board, around this table, would still have a passion for a particular activity or event.
Right.
And if they want to do that as part of their commitment to that particular event, then, because there's not enough of us to go around.
Right.
But from a public standpoint, the perception is that it's going to be FOA.
Yep,
Okay, just wanted to be clear,
yep.
because there are people that, you know, definitely want to do certain things. Or hopefully we would like to continue, we being an FOA board would like them to continue to have that passion.
Yeah, and I don't think we're not putting the brakes on anything, we're pressing the gas on other things.
Hopefully.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
So we're not pulling back on things, we're saying, let's, and the chips are gonna fall where they may.
Right.
But we do need to focus on, for Matt, because if we say Matt is an individual, but we have a position that is part of our organization that we need to decide what do we want the director position to expend resources on. So you're not a person in that role. What do we want that position?
Yeah, this board controls that piece.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, we don't have to figure all that out right now, but it's something we do need to work through. Okay, and on design, we have walking tour, wayfinding, and the public art project are the vote-getters. Those point to several strategies. One that I think is in harmony with all three is the place making.
I think that pillar, if you will, really focuses on placemaking.
Anything anyone want to speak to one of these that they feel they voted for but not many others did, and they don't want us to lose touch, or you don't want us to lose touch of it?
I think the downtown dollars, I mean, you could just see in our
disbursements.
yes, our disbursements, and I understand that that's year
They're
end,
being
and we're
used.
just trying to make sure we get them all at the year end and things like that, but I think the businesses really appreciate that, and I think that would be a shame if we let that,
But again, we're not letting them go.
no, but
And
slip.
it's working well.
But
right?
for
Right.
example,
And I think that's probably why,
so
right.
for downtown dollars, in my mind, and I did not choose that, but in my mind, the time and effort in 2020 would be to, like Tanya has asked multiple times, let's get the program implemented for purchase
For outside businesses.
so that people can buy them. So that would be the time and effort. That's one thing that I would say, if this was a priority in 2020, we would make that happen in 2020. Another is, in our evaluation, they said, think about ensuring that the businesses do not become dependent on the program. So time and effort could be trying to develop ways that these downtown dollars become collaborative. And so we put in some and the businesses put in some. Might be an example of that. Okay, anybody else have one that they want to
Are you talking about turning them into a gift card situation?
Yep. Stocking stuffer, birthdays.
Yeah.
Gift cards are big, big, big.
Well, I think the conversation came about, when you go to support your local business, you have to choose which one. And so the connection was, you know, if we're passing out downtown dollars, you get to choose where you'd like to go. Wouldn't it be nice if you could buy a downtown gift card? So you didn't have to choose who you're supporting
And you can
when
just
you're
go
buying.
anywhere. I like
Right,
that.
because I'm always very careful of, I'm buying here this time, here this time, here this time, you know. Hey, here's one downtown, go downtown shop.
Go
I
wherever
don't have
you
to
want.
decide, right. And
Yeah.
that's kind of the thought process behind that.
It's a great idea.
I like that.
You can buy 'em- maybe you can buy them both.
And I think
You already
that,
did one.
well, I was just gonna say that I think that's not something that we have to, I think that it falls into other categories as well.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that could be something we focus on.
But just in general, that was, you know, downtown dollars, like instead of
Right.
passing them out, can you purchase them?
Right,
That was,
and
you
I
know,
think-
the initial.
I think that that's something we could focus on in
Good idea.
2020, and it fits under other categories as well, that we chose higher. Howard locally.
Anybody else want to champion something that didn't get as many votes?
Merchant grants,
Uh-huh.
will we see that moving up the ladder, so to speak, from a financial standpoint? Focusing more dollars as opposed to having the current limit? Just a thought.
I think we did not do this last year. We did it for the changes we made for 2018, but I think it might be a good idea to dive in with the businesses and organizations and say, what would you use this for? Are there things that aren't necessarily covered in our description that they might use it for?
Well, it's being utilized 100% at the moment with the program structure what you have.
No.
I don't-
There's more use, there was more use in 2019, but the budget line item had lots in it towards the end of the fiscal year, May and June, and I went to everyone and said, do you want to take advantage of this, trying to use up before the new budget year? And we had a huge push at that point of usage.
I don't think it's how it's set up, I think they forget.
Right, yeah,
And you're not talking the 250.
yeah.
Oh, I thought everybody pretty much used that.
I think people just forget about it.
More, we're building, it's definitely building, but it does require lots of reminders. You know, I had one creative thing this year, which was great, and we need to tell their story more. Fit Body Boot Camp used it for the cost of boosting posts on Facebook. They had 6 months of evidence of boosting their posts that they got reimbursed for. That was pretty good. Anything else somebody wants to champion or make sure we don't forget?
Well, let me
Go ahead.
just say something about the retail challenge. You got 5 up there. But there was hardly anything mentioned throughout the last year regarding the retail challenge. And I thought maybe it's just died and withered on the vine, so I don't know where it's at officially.
We were kind of working behind the scenes. We got to a realization that if we had a retail challenge and somebody won, yet they can't move their business into these businesses without a septic upgrade. So it slowed our process, and we were coordinating with Main Street, Oakland County.
Who's we?
What do we do? Huh?
Who's we? Who's working on that?
Well, you and I were on that septic conversation.
I meant the retail challenge in general. Is that just you working on it? Okay.
But we did get a grant for it, so I'm glad to see that it is a priority, because we have to do it, or we lose those grant funds. And so to answer your question, it has evolved into a phase 2 And our technical assistance through Main Street Oakland County in 2019 was resources that we can put into an infrastructure portion of the retail challenge. So now there will be funds available to somebody who wins, yet they have to do some septic work. There will be funds available to take care of it. So now we're ready to rock and roll again.
Nice.
I will say this is the one that I will champion or hope we don't forget about, the mobile app. And here's why. The mobile app has a platform that provides for tours, a walking tour. It also has a function called an activity, which instead of printing out maps for all of these events or the farmer's market, we can have an activity on your smartphone, and you just go from, whether it's Witches Night Out, you go from store or vendor location, farmer's market, you go vendor location. Now there is a cost involved, but once you set it up, it's yours, it's permanent, and you can change the details behind the tour. So that's one that contributes to several other things. All right, that was a little longer than I anticipated, but highly functional, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, good stuff.
Main Street Now, you have that in your packet. There's a double-sided flyer. Two things related to this. I'd like to know if there are board members interested in attending. We have 2 conference registrations available to us through Main Street Oakland County. So they pay for it. They paid for 2 of our registrations. They would like us to do that by the early bird, which is February 3rd.
John also mentioned
So
that
they save some money.
we could get a third paid for as well. If there was something about it, that we could get a third paid for as well.
I'll have to check into that.
Mm-hmm.
We also have 2 $500 scholarships, travel scholarships. They're actually reimbursements. So those are the 2 items related to board attendance. I'll check on a third. So I'm interested to know if anyone is interested in going. The other component is there is they are offering again a discounted rate for elected officials and other government staff. So that's $125 conference registration. Do we want to offer a reimbursement for elected officials that would register up to, 1 or 2 or whatever?
I like that idea. I do like that idea for whomever, whether it's a village council member or a planning commission member. I would also like to suggest, it's just a suggestion, I think for anyone who's not been to one of these conferences yet to go, or someone relatively new to the boards can, because there's so much. I didn't go, I've only been to one, and I didn't go until I'd been a board member for a couple of years, and I wished that I would have gone earlier, because they had even workshops just on being a board member, and I found them to be very helpful, and it really was energizing too.
Yeah.
I'm interested in going, but I would put myself on a back burner if there is more than I'll go.
Right.
I went last year, and I'm very much looking forward to going this year, and it's be hokey, it's inspiring.
And now Courtney, you get the student rate,
I was,
I get the student rate.
right, I am still a student for another 3 months.
So we're not even a whole entry,
Yeah.
and we can
See that?
still
See that?
go.
Saving money. Well,
then-
no, you're even cheaper.
Well, if we
You're
allow a
even cheaper.
civic leader to go and take that spot, I
Mhm.
don't wanna take that
It's
spot.
even cheaper.
Still get away with.
Yeah, but you could still register under the civic.
And,
It's just that there's
well,
no
you were
limit,
saying
right?
if we allow 2 spots, what if we have 2
Save
people step up? I don't
I
wanna
am a
take that,
student.
but I can do
Well, I
it
don't
either
think
way.
there's a limit.
I guess it makes more sense to do that no matter what.
He's talking about
Anyways,
the reimbursement.
Anyways,
point being,
the Friends of Amos
Yeah.
are supposed to be meeting
we're
right now.
halfsies, so we can go as one.
I concur. I concur. The Friends of Amos is supposed to be starting 15 minutes ago.
Yes,
Here.
so I would like to
Yes.
suggest that we do support having the civic leaders go.
Okay.
I would vote for 2, if we could, not counting you,
Right.
because I think we can get you
From an
there.
availability standpoint, I would think that Pat George would be number 1 available, number 2.
Okay.
I would put him on my short list.
And then I'd love to see,
Well, it's gonna be up to them if they even want.
Well, I'm saying if he's
Wants
interested,
to
but
go.
his, you know, you gotta be able to take time off of work, and
Right.
other people on the village council, for the most part, are working.
What days of the week is it?
Monday,
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Monday through Wednesday, yeah.
Of course.
Right.
So we have 2,500 allocated to education conferences. There's 2,000 of that left in our budget. That does not include the additional $1,000 in scholarship from Oakland County. So I'd like us to officially allocate something in reimbursement towards the civic leaders.
You want a motion?
Yeah.
Make a motion that we make available funds for at least 2 civic leaders to attend the Main Street Now, or is it Main Street Now? Conference
Yes.
in Dallas, May 18th through the 20th, 2020.
Did your motion focus on reimbursing the registration fee or?
That,
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, well, and I'm just doing some quick math, so
Make
hotel
available.
for 3 nights, that's, if you have 2 rooms, that's $1,200.
And what about?
we're talking
air-
just the
fare?
registration fee though, right?
Is that all we would be paying?
That's up to you.
Well, I'm thinking, just for us though, we have 3,000 available for us, right? So I'm trying to calculate first what we have available. Does that make sense to anyone else?
Yeah.
Because
No, I'm
then we
with
have
you.
airfare, I mean, we have 3,000, but that's not a
That's
lot.
going to eat that up if you do it, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
Or are
that's
you
what I thought. We
asking
were
one
just-
person to pay for everything or 2 people only to pay for that?
Didn't you say that $1,000 from Oakland County for the registration? Or
No.
No,
or
that's
the
scholarship. They pay
Travel.
for our registration.
Travel-related expenses.
Okay.
Liz,
Liz, did you have a question?
No, I have a statement I'd like to, keep in mind your civic leaders. Planning Commission has a $500 budget for conference and education, and Village Council has a $1,000 or $2,000 budget for conference and education, which means,
Total, not left.
right, but some
They
of their
can
airfare and stuff like that can be
reimburse
reimbursed for
themselves.
that.
Okay,
So I think we focus on reimbursing,
just registration.
registration only.
I think so too. What do you think? Is that gonna be?
I think we should intentionally focus on one person coming. and
do
reimburse more.
everything?
I don't know about everything per se, but just one person. It's never been offered. You offer it, you get somebody who intentionally would like to, and you see how that goes. I don't know.
Like
That makes sense.
$500?
1,500, well,
Well,
Yeah,
if
like
it's
you said, what'd you
125
figure that out?
plus, I mean, so their share, if we had another male going and he's splitting a room, or she, I mean, depending on who goes,
Right.
I mean, it could be $300 then for one person for the hotel plus, so we're $425 if we did 500. I don't know.
So then they're responsible for airfare.
They also have their own budget for education.
But that would eat up, like planning commission, I don't even know if there's that left in there. You know, council, there's only 1,000 left at that. So that would be,
My opinion is just
I
to
like
reimburse
that.
for registration, but that's, I mean, that's,
But we do
technically
we want them
our,
to go though, right? I don't wanna offer it and then have someone
Yeah,
say,
but-
I can't afford it.
Why can't we leave that to be negotiable?
What if we say up to, but with this stipulation that they utilize funds also, matching or something anyway? Can we do that?
Other available funds through their,
Right, so it's
through
not
their,
just us
through their
carrying it?
board.
Mhm.
What if we, would we match $500?
Yeah, I like the matching fund for one person to
Mhm.
come.
You got a lot of variables, you got the student status, you got a lot of variables. I mean,
Right,
depending
and if we
now on
match, then they have skin in the game too now, so.
Well, they're all civic leader,
Right,
so we
Airline.
know that what they're gonna pay.
Points.
well, I'm talking about, but for, if we're just doing registration or?
Right, well, you're saying we know that fee. And you know hotel.
Right. And then it's just airfare or, I don't know, gallons, or if somebody's driving there, or,
That's
Okay,
fine,
fair.
it'd still be one overnight.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Gas
Yeah.
mileage with. it's
Right.
So you wanna leave it
What
to
you
2 o'clock in
have
the
to
morning?
apply.
$1 or something like that.
57.5.
So 2 overnights because they're coming back too.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're
you're
looking
right.
at
It's a
300
2
for a flight.
So what if we did matching up to a certain amount? So calculating just very quickly, just on the back of the napkin here, if Courtney goes and uses the student, that's 175, Tanya would have civic at 125. Kim, if you did go, or if it was another board member,
Oakland County pays for my
I
registration.
can't, it's my mom's birthday, May 20th.
Oakland County
so you don't
pays
count
for
this at all.
my registration, right?
Yes.
Alright,
We
so
have
then,
two
Just the
registrations.
registration, not hotel
And a
travel.
$500
Reimbursement.
travel scholarship. So
And that's not
I'm
part of the
basically
1,000?
covered by Oakland County.
The 500 is. There's
okay, so the two
$500
$500 scholarships, I was
scholarships.
counting that as.
So the registration is one thing,
Hey, let me
the
make sure I'm
$1,000
understanding.
scholarship is a separate thing.
Understand, so let me just make sure I'm understanding though. So the funds that we have available are 2,000 in our budget, and we have two $500 scholarships.
Right.
So that's 3,000
Yep.
available.
Yep.
Are you saying that 500 is part of that?
Yes.
So I don't have 3,000 then, it would be,
Correct.
No, because it's covering hers, right.
okay.
But mine, if say Matt and I go again, our registration's covered by Oakland County. Two
By that
registrations.
$500.
No, separate from that.
That's
No,
what she's at, that's what she's
Travel
asking.
is
Travel.
$500.
The travel scholarship is what would pay for
Two of you.
the hotel.
500.
The registration is separate and is paid for by Oakland County
So,
for two board members or
For the
two
reimbursement.
of us.
so I just wanna have an estimate of the dollars that we're talking about, and I'm really confused right now because I don't know what we have.
Forget about who's going. There's $3,000 available
Okay,
to us to send.
and that's where I was
whoever.
going with this, okay.
So
I'm
what
gonna go
does
back
it
to-
cost per person to go?
It's,
It's gonna
No
vary.
matter who it is,
300 flights right now are about $300
right?
to go Sunday to
So
Thursday,
$550 plus $300. Is that the,
plus hotel.
plus hotel, and if you
Hotel.
split a room, it's 300 per person.
So we're looking at more than $100. Wow. My brain's not doing math.
So Courtney, would you get the student rate still?
It doesn't matter,
Doesn't matter
Oakland
who they're
County
paying it.
pays for my
Okay,
registration.
Well,
so it's, but
Oakland
it's
County
not,
pays for two.
okay,
Registration.
Whatever they are.
on top of the
We-
3,000.
Separate from the 3,000.
Okay, plus two reg. So your
But if
cost for
three
this.
people wanted to go and
Then that would come.
we had to pay for one, I could,
Devil's
See what I'm saying?
advocate, can we choose who they're paying for?
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. We
So
have
we
to
could
reg-
have
So
them pay
if-
two full registrations
Right,
and we.
and then,
well, and that's kind of what I was
Right.
trying to get at, is because
but
you're a lot less
two of the
expensive.
Right.
two of the registrations.
Okay. So I'm
I
gonna
don't know,
be
I
back
mean,
down for
could
175.
I register as a student?
Why not?
Why not?
I register as a student for all of the state minimum stuff.
we register with a
I'm a
code.
student.
It's already prearranged. You don't get to choose. It's already negotiated between National Main Street and Main Street Oakland County.
Okay,
So I don't know what their
So we could do
And,
2 full paid registrations through Oakland County, right? One, I'm assuming would be Matt. And then one other one that could be whomever, right?
Right.
Sarah, you can come in here. You're all right. The Hyatt Regency Dallas, which is where the conference is held, is
$189.
$199 a night.
Well, they've got $189 on their hotel information.
Oh,
Before
yeah,
taxes.
before taxes.
With,
So we're talking roughly $800 per person to attend. Of the non-paid,
Right.
What about food?
You pay your own food.
Yeah.
Wow.
Food, taxi.
so I say one person off from $500 matching scholarship. From one of the other boards. It's my input.
Yeah.
How do we decide if you have 5 people who will?
We would just decide in our, we already have 5.
No, I'm
But we
saying, what
already
if you
have-
have 5 people step forward for that one matching scholarship? What do you do?
The name and a half.
Yeah, draw.
I would say, well,
Yeah, because you've already
I think
told
if
we
you
can
haven't
afford for
gone,
2 people
then-
to go.
then I think we have people that haven't gone that should go and make that the priority for anyone who's not gone. If you've already gone to one, then we do the hat drawing or something. I
Well, I'm
don't
talking
know.
about the matching scholarship from a different entity. If we have
Yeah.
5 people step forward for one,
Then, yeah, we
what
have
what
to-
would be the process? That's all.
I agree with the,
I think the harder would be if there's 2.
yeah.
Yeah, the likelihood of getting 5 people to step
I
forward.
was just simply saying any more than one. That's all.
Well, if it's 2, it's personal. You're
Yeah.
deciding.
Right.
Well, we could make them pick a number, and I could just have a number, and
There's a random computer tabulator.
Or we
Just throw
can
the names
revisit
on
it
and
and
pick.
decide if we want to just pay for 2. Okay. Is that official?
I guess.
Do we need a motion on that?
What is official?
I have a motion, which,
I supposedly made this motion. Go ahead and read it.
the motion is, that I typed. I don't know if we have somebody who supposedly made it yet or not. The motion I typed is to provide $500 in matching scholarship funds for one village council or planning commission member to attend Main Street Now Conference in Dallas, Texas.
Up to 500, right? Isn't that what we said?
Up to, that's good.
Up to?
Up to.
It has been inserted.
All right. Courtney made the motion.
Yes.
Do we have support?
And that doesn't have to be decided by the February 3rd.
No, but the rate goes up after that.
And we should.
Yeah.
It's a week.
Goes up $100.
Right.
All in favor?
Right.
Right.
All opposed? All right.
So that charge is 130.
Next.
Main
What about joint
Yeah.
Yes.
meeting?
Joint meetings for 2020. I have to leave at 9. Lindsay stayed home from work, so that we forgot the kids were off today. Because they were off
Mm-hmm. Last
20
Monday
days this
and-
month.
Yes, seems like.
Yeah, so joint meetings.
We need to decide what time frame would be good for us to host joint meeting, and then also what type of agenda or topic that we would be interested in facilitating. Last year, we hosted in April, and we had Main Street, Oakland County here doing the fundamentals of Main Street.
That was at the senior center,
Yes.
and that was in April.
Yep. Tanya has indicated that the July joint meeting makes sense for the village council to host that meeting because it's right at budget time.
So that kind
Right
of gives you
after
the
budget
spring,
time.
fall option to pick and
I
decide.
graduate in April. I'm gonna be right at the end of my semester, so I can't guarantee.
Well, it could be after that
My-
too. I'm just saying in general, do you want,
My
spring or
availability.
fall, and what would be the intention? Just because planning meets the next week, and then they could have the other option and start planning.
How fall?
Right. I'm just saying I don't know what my availability will be in April. I'll be quite busy.
Yeah, we want to do fall?
I like July.
July
They're-
is
they're-
council because of the budget.
Village.
Village Council's hosting in July.
So they'll stick with the summary one because that's budget year for
Oh,
everybody.
no, the budget will be over by July for village council. It's
Starting a
June
new
3rd,
budget.
by the end of June.
Right, so when the budget's done and fixed and DDA's budget's done and council's budget's done, then we do the joint meeting and everybody kind of discusses the next project.
What if we did
Like we did
October?
last July.
How about October?
Let's do it.
That's the
Sounds
next
good.
option.
One of our requirements is a public meeting. We have to do 2 public meetings a year. Maybe we could incorporate that into this joint meeting.
Oh, I like that idea.
I'd like to see us get a meeting together with as many of the local business owners as possible as well. For one
Which
of
would be
those.
public,
For one
that
of
would be
those.
considered a public
Why
meeting.
can't we coordinate with your town hall?
And do a public meeting then too?
Yeah.
So we have to do 2?
Well, no, we could just do a one or,
Don't we have to do 2 per year?
Yeah.
oh, 2 per year.
But if we do our
Mm-hmm.
joint meeting as one, and then team up for this, for the second, for the town hall, or for the businesses.
Okay, good.
Next.
The Main Street, Main Event Awards. I have 4 catalogs here. If anyone is interested in helping with that. It is the 20th anniversary of Main Street, Oakland County this year. They have changed the awards a little bit to focus on 20 years or something that either people or projects that have had significant impact on the community.
What's the date?
Yeah, May what?
March 30th.
May 7th
Oh,
is
sorry.
the event.
I was gonna say May what?
I
May
need to
7th is
leave.
the event.
Lindsay.
March 30th is the deadline.
Oh, gotcha.
See you later.
Sorry about that. Bye, Matt.
Bye.
I am out of town.
So anyways,
See you, Matt.
I don't have the historical knowledge to immediately say, oh, here's the project, or here's the person we're going to nominate for this award. So I would appreciate some assistance in trying to identify if there are projects or people that would qualify for any of these awards.
Here, I'd like to
Anybody
see
want one?
one. I like, thank you.
It's so different, I'm sure.
There's like 4 categories.
What time is it?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Uh,
Same as always, 7.
Say on here. It's earlier than that, because I had to take off work. I think it started at 5:30, it was really early.
It does not say, Allison.
Okay. I'm just trying to
Maybe
block
it
my
was
calendar,
set-
so.
It says save the date, will be presented, main event, Thursday, May 7th in the evening.
I have
At
it on
the
my
Treasury.
calendar.
Yeah, it's in the Treasury in Saginaw Street in Pine.
Oh,
Not at
Oh.
the
Theater.
Strand.
Arlington, yeah.
Where's the treasurer?
I am,
It's
North
It's
Saginaw
not
Street.
Saginaw, but it's
the treasury?
north of.
North Saginaw Street.
I'm trying to picture
It's a
the treasurer.
big, old bank building, huge,
There's only, where is this at?
Pontiac.
Is that the ballroom?
That's not the old nightclub, is it?
Now the ballroom?
That was a church, never mind.
Used to be like a Masonic or
Church.
on the west side, if you're going into town, right, straight downtown. On the west side, big building.
Google.
And it is
On
on
the
the
right?
west side of Saginaw,
Yeah,
north of 59.
yeah. North of it. That's Huron
Big.
Street.
Yes.
Big bank
Wayne.
old bank building.
Yeah, it's a big ballroom, right?
What it used to be.
I know where that's at, we went to a wedding.
I don't know if they call it the treasury though.
They had catering,
There was a bank.
Used to be.
the Lafayette Grand.
Yeah, Lafayette something now.
Lafayette Grand is what it used to
Oh, okay.
be. Great place, we went there for a wedding, it was
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I've been there for a couple of parties, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
And there's only 4 categories
Yep.
instead of 9.
Okay.
That's what there
So
was
the
last
awards
year.
are bigger.
I remember fully.
Our February board meeting is currently scheduled for President's Day when the office is closed,
Which is,
February 17th.
Okay.
Can I make just a small request?
Hmm.
Try not to schedule the DDA meetings the same night as the village council meeting. That makes for an awful long day for
Oh, I
several
bet.
people.
But it gets overwhelming.
Is it the 24th?
Yes.
I can do the 10th.
Monday the 10th or Tuesday the 18th.
I can't do Tuesdays.
I'm out of town, though.
The 24th is fine, I'm just saying.
No, that's a very valid and legitimate request.
10th is definitely better for me. I can do Tuesday, but it makes it harder. But that's,
The
That,
following-
Liz was just asking if we could not
Not
do
do it
it
on-
the same night as a council. Because then she's here at 7 and
No.
here
Yeah.
until,
What did you say?
I'm sorry, Liz.
until what time?
11 most of the time.
What did you just say about a date?
I just said Monday's better too. Allison
Okay.
said Monday, I said
Yeah.
Monday. I would like to do the 10th if
10th?
that's available.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in North Carolina visiting my mom from the first through the first Saturday to Thursday.
Oh.
So without looking at a calendar, that's the,
First Saturday
Is
the
the
8th.
first.
or
Oh,
it comes from the first until that next Thursday.
The 6th?
6th.
Correct, yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so you'll be home.
here.
So I'll be home. Oh, yes. Oh, for the 10th. Yes, I will. Look at there. Perfect. Thank you. That's why I'm
But
here.
Wayne, you won't be here. I'm February.
Frank, Courtney, thank you.
Mhm.
DDA meeting.
Well, I just have my
7:30
calendar
here.
in front of me.
Yep.
Perfect. I'll be here.
All right.
Good.
Courtney, wrap this meeting up.
Additional business?
There was something.
The redevelopment ready, tonight the village council will be talking about, the appointments for that. But it's preemptive because planning commission hasn't met to decide who they're going to appoint. And then, Dale has said he's interested, to do that as well. So we'll know at the next meeting who is the representatives coming from planning. So, so then see what you need next.
Well, I think the way it's written on the agenda is that they could select from either board.
It has to
Okay.
be both, right? Somebody from planning commission, and it has to be somebody from staff. Yeah,
Now, the
you remember? I don't have it on me.
I left.
No, redevelopment ready community for that program. Somebody from the staff has to do it and somebody from planning commission.
The second person's an option for us.
Yeah.
Is it?
You have to have one certified person. Their recommendation is you have multiple
Right,
in case somebody
Okay.
leaves.
all right. That's what we decided. I have it, I just don't have it. Anyway, so that's the update on that. Yeah,
I have one more thing, if you're gonna
No,
wrap
go
up.
ahead. There was something I was gonna mention.
Just
too.
email anyone has any volunteer needs, please email those to me. I'm gonna ask for these each month because we wanna get them posted on the website so not just, I need 7 volunteers, but I don't need to know numbers of volunteers, what I need to know is what you need done in chunks. Because our goal is to be able to put something in the paper and on our website that says, we are looking for volunteers to help with these specific tasks so that people can sign up for just a small little piece or as much as they want.
I know, Courtney, and I have kind of touched on it. I have 2 groups that have come forth looking for, people have come to me asking for volunteer opportunities. So if you know of anybody
Good.
who needs
Copy,
them,
copy those two also then, yeah.
Soon.
Sure. That's all I have.
I feel like I had something here. Okay. I'd like everybody just to take note of the upcoming event calendar. Do we have anybody going to the Oakland County Strategic Plans session?
that, wait, oh no, that's ours. Because ours was canceled.
I am.
I think January 31st. We registered for that.
There's a whole bunch of people going to the zoning board training.
From Ortonville, or the council?
Yes,
Oh,
I,
I
God.
office and, I think I got planning commission. I think we've got, actually, we've got 8.
Was it?
Okay, if there's nothing else.
I have one more question
Go.
then. You said we were gonna be having our open meeting along with the village town hall meeting?
Not the next one.
That was a suggestion.
It's an option.
So would that be the February town hall meeting?
No, I'm thinking more like one in April.
A little bit down the
April
road,
and
get
October.
prepped for.
It's not these 2 that we have to go about.
So,
So if there are no other questions, we'll go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn
I'll second it.
at
9:09.
9:09. Wayne, roll call, all in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned. Wayne, do you want to just reschedule the DDA or the FOA meeting, because it's just you, me, and Sarah?
And who?
Sarah. Jesse's not here, and obviously Matt had to leave, and we're supposed to be talking about board member.
Filling in the board.
Yeah.
Seats.
That's really all that's on the agenda, so. Do you want to just?
Well, do we have anything?